you do not want to be a baby mama to these guys out here. For one, they weaponize your pregnancy. They're taking that time where you're the most vulnerable, and they use that to have leverage. And basically, now you're eating out of the palm of their hand. So every time you need help, he's going to weaponize whether you listen to him or you give him smacks. A lot of men are only fathers to your kids as long as your legs are still open. Other than that, a lot of guys are abandoning these women, and now you're a single mom. And this is really plaguing the black community in particularly. When I was straight out of high school, all my friends got knocked up right away. And I was like, you know what? I still see hope in, having my own family. Just quote unquote pick better. And then after some time of dating and realizing, I have my own issues I need to work out. When I finally got therapy, I realized, okay, I'm ready. But the men aren't ready. And that's when I learned they're a whole nother species. They don't get therapy. They don't look into introspectively or care how their actions affect others. They were raised and coddled by single moms most of the time. And so they feel like they can do no wrong because they were a man of the house at 9 years old. And so when you take that demeanor and you try to coexist or co-parent, they're going to weaponize every opportunity they get. Because patriarchy tells men that you have to always rule with an iron fist. And so a lot of guys end up ruining good families just because they're trying to rule with aggression and violence instead of just learning how to have a verbal communication or something gentler like gift giving, learning signs of love and so forth. So I'm not falling victim to that. And a lot of people who nowadays, Gen Z, millennials, the birth rate is plummeting. And this is the reason why. We're wisening up to the penalties of punishment. And another thing you're going to realize when you get knocked up, or if you do like a pregnancy scare, you're going to find that your so-called village was waiting for a chance to run.
Nobody knows where they might end up. Nobody knows.
We'll talk enough about the people whose first pregnancy has traumatized them so much that they don't want to have any more kids. There's people out here, they got one kid about to be 15 years old. I don't want to have no more kids. I'm never having no kids again. And these are people who have thought about having families, who used to imagine themselves with 3 kids, 4 kids. I'm going to have a football team. Now you can't pay them to have another child. That used to be me. I used to be standing firm on, I ain't never having no more kids. And now that I do have more kids with a 9-year age gap on it. But when you are loved properly and you are loved correctly and you are with a person who treats you kind, life has a funny way of changing everything that you thought you know, or you thought that you didn't want or you wanted. And it all comes around with feeling emotionally safe and having emotional safety with your partner.
I fucking hate this. I hate this some days. I just, I'm never enough. And, I feel like I'm gonna disappoint one of my kids. And
all right, so I silenced this part because I didn't want TikTok to take it down for the music. But here she's just showing how her ex-husband was in Europe with his new bitch on their children's birthday. Do not have a baby for a man. And when I say that, I mean do not have a baby just because that man wants a baby. If you do not absolutely want the baby, do not have the baby. Also, don't have more kids than you are willing to raise as a single mother. Y'all saw that video of her in the closet crying from her 4 kids. Stressed out, tired, overworked. And as y'all can see in this comment, someone said, standing firm on one and done mentally is the best for me. And even with 1 kid, it still gets overwhelming at times. The woman, the 29-year-old that was in the video, she was one and done with her ex-husband, but he pushed her to have another. She ends up with triplets. And when it's a triplets birthday, where is he? In Paris with the bitch he told her was a gold digger. On his kid's birthday, the kids that he begged his wife to have, that he now wants nothing to do with. If you have a baby simply because your husband wants the baby or your boyfriend wants the baby, if your husband or boyfriend decides they want nothing to do with that baby, they can pack their shit and go to Paris with the new bitch and leave you fending for yourself. Because she even said he doesn't take care of them. He's a fucking deadbeat. So now here she is, 29 years old, single mother, no assistance from the father. So when y'all see women on the internet saying, you know what, I'm gonna leave it at that. I do with this information what you will. I hate to use her as an example, but sometimes I feel like y'all need to see it. Y'all need to see it, because when women come on this app and tell y'all to be careful, y'all make it sound like we're bitter. We're not bitter. We're cautious. We're cautious. Some of us were fortunate enough to not end up exactly in her position, but babe, all right, y'all be careful.
I literally hate being a mom. But I love my child, but I hate being a mom. And I feel like people that are only moms can only understand this saying. You can love your child, but hate being a mom. Because being a mom comes with so much responsibility. But the thing that I hate most about being a mom is the fact of how vulnerable it makes me. And the fact that every single decision I make, I have to think about my child. Like, there's no form of selfishness, if you get what I mean. I really hate how vulnerable that makes me. Some people love that about being a mom, like you're vulnerable, like me, no. Like, bro, I think about so many things. If my child gets bullied, if my child goes to someone's house and they do something, like that is putting not only them, but me in a vulnerable position, if you get what I mean. And I can be strong for my child so much. Do you get it? Like, they're going to have to go through certain things in life that I'm not going to have any control over, heartbreak, all of that. And it's like, damn, like, I understand it's hurting my child, but it's putting me in such a vulnerable position. It's just such a hard thing, you know, a very, very hard thing.
Oh, women don't want to be mothers anymore. Women don't want to create families anymore. It's their fault that we don't have strong families. No. Women don't want to be single mothers anymore. Women are tired of raising kids on their own. Because you guys just get up and leave when it's convenient for you. When that father leaves and you have a daughter that is with an absent father, then men are so quick to look at her and blame her and say, oh, she is the way she is because she has daddy issues. But then you have a man, right? And that man grew up without a mother. People will say, poor guy, the mom left, what an evil mom. So basically, what does this conclude? The man is never held accountable for his actions. It's always the woman's fault. What the saddest thing of all is, a mother, a woman, will be so strong and handle a man just leaving and walking out of her life when she has a child. She will raise that child on her own, only for that child to grow up and resent her for not having a father. Again, why do we blame the woman? Don't get me started on daddy issues, because I have seen so many men suffering so much more from daddy issues than women have. And then you guys complain that women aren't feminine anymore. Women don't want to stay home. Women want to go out and work and make their own money. But you guys can't provide for them. Men are so stingy.
Why do we keep glorifying single motherhood? Before, it used to be Section 8 single motherhood. That was the ghetto. That was like, oh my God, no. Now it's like being rich and a single mother. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you women. Like, why are you people obsessed with looking stupid? Why? Why do you all want to be mothers so bad? There is real things that are going on in the world. We have real problems. We have famine. We have war. We have technology issue. We have spiritual war. We have things that are really going on. Why are y'all obsessed with motherhood? Just because you have money. Like, we're glorifying single motherhood. Like, everyone is a single mother. Kim Kardashian is a single mother. Kylie Jenner is a single mother. Khloe Kardashian is a single mother. Liz is now a single mother. Jazz is a single mother. Everybody's a single mother. Like, what the fuck is going on? Sierra is the only person who isn't really a single mother, but she's an exception, I guess. There's so many fucking single mothers in this fucking, what's going on? Jada's a single mother. Ari's a single mother. Who is a celebrity bitch that's not a single mother, or who isn't actively trying to become a single mother? Haley's a single mother. Y'all just like...
Kids is not a flex. It's not a flex. Hear me? If you are single, unmarried, and without child, you are responsible. But a flex, it is not. Childlessness cannot be a flex. And to me, it goes beyond just the single without kid thing, and I'm still desirable. Look, I get that. But it's the idea of children in general being this inconvenience or hindrance or limitation to our lives. And to me, it just shows how self-indulgent and self-centered we're becoming as a generation.
I'll be fine. I'm completely and utterly fine. I'm fine. I am fine. I'm fine. I'm always fine. Don't you know that?
She's fine. She's always fine. That's your problem.
It goes one by one, even two by two. Everybody on the floor, let me show you how we do. Let's go. Dip it low, then you bring it up slow. Wind it up one time, run it back once more.
I ain't signed that motherfucking contract. I ain't a bitch like you. I ain't going out like that. Me, I don't play them kind of motherfucking games.
I am 27 and I do not have any children, and I do not wish to have any children anytime soon because I do not want to be a single mom. And hear me out. I always say this. If you believe that you'd be happy as a single mom, then that is the only instance where you should have children, because men do not always stick to their word. And I'm not at that stage. Once I get to that stage, I will be having a child, with or without a man present. Because for me, men just do not stick to what they say they're going to do. And not just men, people. You can have a child with a woman and then she disappears. It's possible. But one thing that people don't think about is that it's not just about sticking to your word. People die. People die. And I feel like there's so much resentment, and this resentment between mums and daughters is never spoken about. There's so much resentment between women who had children for reasons other than wanting the kids, and then they get to a point where, okay, right now you have to focus on being a mum, and they can't do it. They can't do it. They hate their children because they have resentment, because maybe the dad left, or because maybe the child is actually doing better than they were at their age and they had them for something other than being a mum to that child. And that is when you have mums that are jealous of you. You have mums that are trying to ruin you, and mums that are trying to be part of your downfall. We see it too often and we never speak about it. We always speak about, oh, dad's leaving and dad's this, but we never speak about the mums who resent their children. There's so many of them. And I feel like one of the biggest reasons mum resent their kids is because they had their children because of the dad, and the dad's gone, and they can't leave because they're the mum, and they feel like society would look at them like this and like that. But then they don't raise their children with the love that is needed for between a mum and a daughter. And that's when the jealousy comes in. That's when the resentment comes in. I've seen the way certain mums talk to their daughters. My mum has never ever called me out my name. What do you mean you're telling your daughter that she's disgusting and she's run through? How did you get there? Jealousy. So please, no one can come and tell me to ever have a child unless I'm ready to be a single mum, because things happen. People die. People give up on you. People just decide they don't want to be there no more. And I'm not ready to raise any child by myself. And I'll put my hands up right now.
I just want to know, what about me screams, ask me for money? I mean, I'm flattered. But the last time I checked, I remember I've been telling y'all I'm a single mom. I don't get no child support. My rent is high as shit. I live in SoCal. I literally did mom on a budget fucking Christmas. Like, I ain't got no fancy house and I drive a Honda for somebody to ask me to help them pay their rent. Like, you're actually joking, right? And if it wasn't enough that they DM me, they also sent me an email with their past due balance of their rent and etc. Let me tell y'all the problem I have with this. The first thing is the Jacqueline. Because if you're a real follower of mine and you really fuck with me, you know that I go by Jackie. So that already tells me that you're not even one of the people that fucks with me for real, for real. Number two, from single mom, because she says she's a single mom, to single mom, why would you ask another single mom to give you $500 for your rent? Like, I barely got $500 for my rent. And yeah, you want to make sure your kids have a good Christmas? Me fucking too. And what really grinds my gears is, like, how many more people did you message this to? Because the past due balance is $4,000. Well, how many places are you trying to get $500 from? And sending these generic messages. But to a single mom is what gets me, like, the audacity. Why didn't you message? I don't know who's I can't even think of anybody else, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And lastly, the DM. I can't really show you guys the whole DM because I don't want to expose her, but it's the first time she's ever wrote me in her entire life since the existence of me on my Instagram. It's the first time she's ever wrote me, never responded to a story. It's the first time. And you want to ask me for money? What? Shit is crazy. And I'm a very giving, kind person. And if I seen that you followed me for a long time and you really engage with my stuff and you needed something, I would help you. Now, this is not an open invitation, but I'm just saying, because I've done it before. I just don't talk about it because I don't think you're supposed to talk about the good things that you do. It's between you, the person, and God. May you be blessed. But that's just crazy to me. I'm a single mom!
I'm gonna say this again because obviously the girlies are not fucking understanding. It does not make literal logical sense to know in general that men abandon kids. Okay, we know this. It does not make logical sense to know that men do these sorts of things. You go out of your way to then have a said baby, and that man make the conscious decision to want to dip in and out of y'all fucking life. Understand me, that if you decide to give that man full fucking custody, the only individual in all of that fucking nonsense that will fucking suffer is the child. So my only logic about that, if you know that there could be a possibility that you will end up a single mother, and you know for a full fucking fact you as a woman do not want to end up as a single mother, don't have kids, bro. And I say this because at the end of the fucking day, I'm starting to see a lot of women hop on this wave of, if a nigga think he gonna drop me and leave me with a baby, his ass in it for the long run. Don't have fucking kids, y'all. Don't have kids. I'm saying this because I genuinely do not think y'all understand what type of danger y'all will be putting y'all babies in, leaving them in the hands of irresponsible ass fucking men. You know, like I know, most of these niggas are irresponsible. So what logical sense will it make to lay down, decide to agree to have a baby, and when he decides to back away, you also want to back away, but give the child to the irresponsible individual that will not take care of their baby? Don't have the kids. I'm not saying that I don't agree, because I do agree we need more single dads out there so women can stop being seen as the default parent. But understand, this would not work in the logical way that y'all think. It would not work that way, because you have to understand that most violence is taken out by men. So if you put all these men in a certain circumstance where they would have to genuinely cater to a child, take care of a fucking child, y'all do know that the mortality rate of these said children will fucking skyrocket, right? This is why I say the logic doesn't make sense. I understand that y'all think the man that you decided to have a baby with will be safe and responsible enough to take care of the child, because you shouldn't have kids with a man that you know for a fact you wouldn't trust around kids. But you don't know that man. Y'all do not know these men when the children come into the in the whole situation. Y'all don't know these men. Women are not lying when we tell y'all that when kids come into situations, men change. So honestly, think you don't have kids right now. You know that there's a possibility you may want kids. And within that possibility, there's a higher chance that you could end up being a single mother. If you know for a fact you would not ever want to be a single mother because of the way that our world works, don't fucking bring the babies. Don't do it. As I'm speaking from a social worker's point of view, don't do it, because these kids will suffer. I don't give a fuck about y'all feelings, and I think y'all need to get that under control. Your feelings never ever fucking matter once a child come into the picture. That goes for both parties. But since men does not take that shit as seriously as women, as a woman, you know men don't do this type of shit, so honestly, don't have the kids. Don't have kids to use them as pawns or games for both individuals to just be passing them along just to see who will be the responsible. Don't have the fucking kids, y'all.
Let me just say this. If I was a woman in today's society and I end up getting pregnant by one of you bum-ass dudes, and y'all ain't gonna step up and help me take care of a child, and y'all think I'm gonna be a single mother, boy, y'all got life like... Listen, the reason why I'm saying all this, I hear so many single mothers on this app complaining about nothing ass dudes. Let me just tell you like this. If I was in y'all's shoes and I knew that man wasn't finna step up or want to be a father, me and that baby finna go to the doctor and Yeah, I'll talk to God later on about what's going on. God just gonna have to understand. Because I'm not finna raise no child on my own. You think you about to knock me up, have me pregnant, and go live your best life and don't do nothing for the kids. Boy, you crazy. Y'all women be accepting any and everything. Long story short, I don't see how y'all women keep a child and y'all know the child father don't want to be a father or don't want to be in their life. Sometimes it's okay to do what's best for you. I promise you it is. Listen, I don't believe in doing that, going to the doctor and, getting the baby. I don't believe in that either. But at some point, you got to realize this life that we live in, it get crazy and scary when you're on your own, trying to raise a child on your own. Hey, listen, before I had to do all that, raise a child on my own, God, I'm sending somebody up there to you. And not only that, a lot of y'all women keep the child to try to get back at the father. You only hurting yourself. That man don't care. Then not only that, y'all try to put the man on child support. You can't find the man. He don't want no job. He don't want to work. He don't want to be found.
I think something that we should point out here, modern day Babylon, is the fact that it's like it's been normalized to become a single mother, a baby mama with kids, raising kids on your own. But if we go back to ancient times and see how the daughters of Zion was, that you won't find any single mothers. Like women today, they're not proving a man that they go and lay down with. And furthermore, it's all based off fun and pleasure. And in that moment, and then she finds herself alone, pregnant, and now raising kids on her own. But technically, the daughter, back in the ancient days, the daughter dwelt at home with her father, and her father gave her away to a righteous man, and they started a family. It's much value built into marriage and building a family and having children. And I think today's society has like deceived the black woman into thinking that, she don't want to get married, she don't need a husband, and she can do it on her own. And that's where you find a lot of single mothers today raising kids. I think it just really come down to just if we truly call ourselves daughters of Zion, we got to return back to them roots and stop just giving your body away to men just because. Like, the daughters of Zion back in the day, they had value to themselves. And it wasn't necessarily what was between their legs. It was pretty much on the aspect of her bringing her worth into a marriage to that man and helping him build whatever his vision is. And her values come along with her duties and producing what she can do with the Most High put inside of her. And being able to lay down and get impregnated does not make you a woman or give you any type of value. Will help you to become a woman today. That whole ideology that it's okay to be a single mom, that's a lie. And that got propagated and pushed on so-called black women by the heathen. And it was essentially to tear down the black family and to keep the black family from building wealth, generational wealth together. Because I have yet to see a single mother that's building generational wealth and passing it on to her children, and then her children passing it to their children and their children to their children. No, what you see is the curses perpetuated, and it's not ending. So, and furthermore, to add to that, there is a whole process way before intimacy ever transpire, and that's what the daughters of Zion have to realize and stop being deceived and allowing your fleshly pleasures overtake you, your lust overtake you. At the end of the day, there's a covenant that's set up. The man vows to take care of this woman. There's a marriage covenant in place. And the intimacy only consecrates the marriage. So why is it that it's skipping the covenant, it's skipping the vow, and it's going straight to the intimacy? Make that make sense. And that's where a lot of sisters are erring.
Love my kid. Fucking hate being a mom. I fucking hate being a parent. Like, I fucking hate it. And I feel bad for saying that, but like, I wish someone would have let people with BPD know that like we really shouldn't be moms. Like, having a kid is too fucking complicated. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to be responsible for this tiny human. I just want to be responsible for myself, and it's too late now. I didn't know parenthood was going to be like this. I didn't know I was going to be doing it all by myself with no support system, no family, no anything. I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have never done it.
So if you're watching this clip, you probably had two reactions, and more than two, but the main ones, right? You probably had no sympathy for her. You're probably like, listen, she had 9 months. She had time to decide if she was going to have this baby or not. And now she's crying about it because, you know, being a parent is tough and she acting like she didn't know, right? That's probably one of y'all's reactions. Other reactions could be empathy, right? Understanding where she's coming from. Don't even mean that you have to agree or feel like I felt that way before, but it's like I see how she could feel that way, right, as a mom. But whatever your reaction is, it doesn't change the fact that this is the reality for a lot of mothers, unfortunately. And it's not something that's talked about. And when it is talked about, you know, it's always black and white. There's never a gray area. There's never an in between. It's either she knew what she was doing or damn, I feel for her, right? But I think what people aren't taking into account is key things that she said. First of all, she said that she had BPD. If you don't know what that is, that's borderline personality disorder, okay? It's also just being emotionally unstable, meaning 1 minute she probably did think this was a great idea, right? But now knowing that she has unstable emotions where she has a higher presence of depression and anxiety, right? Now the baby is here, that's out the window, right? But we don't think about mothers who have mental health disabilities or mental health disorders undiagnosed. A lot of it is undiagnosed. And they're out here having children, and it is hard. It's hard, right? Another thing she said was she didn't know she would be doing it alone without any supports. Nobody thinks about that, okay? Nobody thinks about the fact that a lot of women are talked into having kids, okay? And when shit hits the fan, no one's there to help. She has no support. So it's like at the baby shower, she had all this support, everybody eating up the food, everybody buying stuff. But then once the baby's here, that's it. No one's thinking about those key things, right? Gray area. That's the gray area with what she's talking about. So I just send her a lot of love and energy because it is hard. And I applaud her for putting herself out there like that.
Maybe